Okay, I think we're ready to go, right? YouTube sting. Yeah, we're good to go. Perfect. Oh, hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah. All right, let's get it. Okay. What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my super wild card weekend picks. And man, I can't believe the playoffs are already here, right? God. And the craziest part is it's knowing that we have about a month left of football, you know, and then that's it, right? And we'll see if the Browns get a new coach by then. I'm hoping we get a new coach by the end of the season, right? We should, if we know what we're doing. By the way, how about John Harbaugh getting shown the door today? I already know what the people are going to say. Why on earth would he want to come coach the Browns? Because if you go on Browns Twitter right now, that's all you see. People talking about, oh, can John Harbaugh come coach the Browns? I mean, I'm sure he'd be down. Not sure if he'd want to play in the coach in the AFC North again. I mean, if I was him, I would try to get as far away from this division as possible. But he did grow up in Ohio, in Toledo. I believe his parents were all Browns fans, so I'm sure they'd be down. He knows the area, he knows the division. It'd just be weird as hell to see John Harbaugh coaching the Browns. Like, what? And then what would really trip me the hell out is if Kevin went to the Ravens. You know damn well there's a legit possibility that happens too. It's like, what bizarre world are we in? John Harbaugh's coaching the Browns and Kevin's coaching the Ravens. Like, okay. They just literally switched spots. Now, I'm gonna laugh so damn hard if that actually happens, which means it's not gonna happen. Now, in terms of, who we will interview for sure, again, you're probably curious why I haven't posted 2 videos today talking about them, because I'm only gonna talk about them when the interviews happen. We requested permission to interview them. They don't have to grant their request. I'm sure they will. So I'll be making a video on Todd Monken and whoever the hell that freaking Seahawks DC is. I have no idea, never heard of him in my life. Ay, that's the guy we were going to hire too. Watch. He's going to be a finalist. It's going to be the most logical choice, like Harbaugh or Chris Shula or someone like that, someone that Browns fans are going to get behind. And then you're going to have that guy from freaking Seattle. And they're going to pick him. I think they're going to go offensive coach because they want to try to keep Jim Schwartz. Yeah. Not mind Harbaugh at all. That would just be weird to see, right? 18 years of him in Baltimore and then he comes to Cleveland. Like, okay. Well, that's trippy. What kind of bizarre world are we living in? But, anyways, enough of that garbage. Let's get into these picks. So, for anyone who's new to these streams, obviously I'm going to go more in depth in these games because there's not as many games. This week we have a grand total of 2, 5, 6 games. If I just did the picks like I did last week, this stream would be 10 minutes long. Like, I might as well just do it in a video if I'm going to do that, right? So I'm going to go in depth with each team, talk about their history in the playoffs. Have these teams ever met in the playoffs before? And if so, how did they do? Right. So, starting us off on Saturday, January 10th, we got 4:30 p.m. Los Angeles Rams versus the Carolina Panthers. Wow, what a story that is, right? Now, I'm also going to do a little how did they get here as well. Carolina, once again, wins the, I guess, the NFL version of the AL Central. A division where it's like, do they really even need a team? Because they all suck. It's like I can't even say a battle of mid. It's literally one of the worst divisions consistently in the NFL. And I will give the Panthers credit. Didn't start off so hot, 1-3. Then they won 3 in a row. Then they win, lose. Or no, they won 3 in a row. Lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. They literally bounce back and forth. E. Then they lose 2 straight to end the year. Oh man, that's tough. Been a rough year for them. And they somehow made the playoffs. That's tough. That's tough. Now, on the other side, the Rams, they've been consistently one of the better teams all year. 12-5. I mean, they were tearing teams apart, seemingly. They started off 3-1. Then they would go on a tear, losing to the Niners by 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, losing to the Panthers. They'd win 2 in a row, lose 2, and then they would beat the Cardinals in their season finale. Now, obviously, comparing the leaders for each team, Matthew Stafford, almost 5,000 yards passing, 46 touchdowns. Bruh. Kyren Williams, 1,252 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns on almost 260 some carries. Bell cow back for sure. And then Puka Nacua, 1,715 yards receiving with 10 touchdowns on 129 receptions. Team stats, first in passing yards, 7th in rushing yards. They were the number 1 team scoring team, 30.5 points, and then 10th scoring defense with 20 on average. So that's pretty good. Pretty good, I do say. And of course, they finished second in the division behind Seattle, who went 14-3 this year. What about Carolina? Bryce Young, 3,011 yards, 23 touchdowns. Not bad. Rico Dowdle, 1,076 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. Okay. And Ted McMillan, 1,014 yards, 7 touchdowns. They had the 26th ranked passing offense, I believe. 19th ranked rushing offense. They averaged about 18 points and then giving up 22. So their offense might not be able to hold up against what will be a very good Rams offense, which I believe they might be getting Davante Adams back. So good luck. That was a rough year. That was 2 years after the Super Bowl run. So ever since Cam Newton led them to that Super Bowl, they've only made the playoffs 1 time. Oh, wow. That's crazy, right? That's craziness. Wow. Now, for the game itself, 4:30 on Fox. The line, Rams favored by 10. Over under 46.5. Carolina keeping it close. I think Carolina covers, but the Rams are going to win. Sorry, CPG and all the other Panther fans that might be tuning in. I know J Dub and CPG get annoyed because of my background, right? This gives them PTSD. But the Rams are just they're just on a, oh my God, I can't even speak. They're on a tear right now. They're on a warpath. I don't know if the Panthers are going to be able to even keep this within a few touchdowns. I think they will, but we'll see. But I am going to go with the Rams to win this game. So let me put in my picks here. Hold it up. Today, Carolina. Oh, sorry, nope. Rams. There we are. What's up, Rays? You just got Wingstop. Lucky you. Now, Carolina, they're actually 3-1 in the wild card round, 9-8 overall, all time in the playoffs. Again, they're a relatively younger team. They've only been around, funny enough, they've only been around as long as I've been on this earth. Yeah. Yeah. Their inaugural season was my first year on this planet. Fucking like a damn alien. Yeah. That's kind of funny. I'm the same age as the Panthers. Oh man. But yeah. Their best year obviously was that Super Bowl run they had in 2015. Lost because Cam Newton didn't want to jump on a damn fumble. I mean, they could go on a Cinderella run. I just don't see it. Unfortunately. It's tough. But I'm going to go with the Rams to win this game. Moving on to 8 o'clock Saturday night. We got a third game rubber match. Oh, that's not a match, isn't it? Or am I tripping? No way the Bears swept the Packers this year. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. By the way, Packers and the Bears is on Prime Video. Because of course it is. Of course it is. Aye. All right. Okay, I thought they would have played earlier. You know what I'll do? I'll do this. So we got a nice little NFC North rematch. Again. Gotta love when you have a third game between two teams in the playoffs. Just like what happened with the Browns and Steelers back in 2020. It's hard enough to beat a team twice, let alone 3 times. So the Bears, fantastic year by them this year. They completely role reversed from last year. Last year, they couldn't win close games to save their lives. This year, that's all they did was win close games. Their worst stretch of the season was the beginning and end of the season where they lost 2 in a row. They lost their first 2 games against Minnesota and the Lions. They should have beat Minnesota week 1 though. Yeah. After that, they would win 4 in a row, lose to the Ravens, and then they would win another 5 in a row, lose to the Packers, win 2, and then they lose to the Niners and Lions again. So as long as the Lions aren't even in the playoffs, so they don't got to worry about them. But they did split with the Packers, so this is the rubber match between the two. The Packers, 9-7-1, started off 2-1-1. Then they won 3 in a row, lose 2, win 4, and then lose 4. Not a great ending to the season. Granted, Jordan Love was banged up, and that really hurt him. Malik Willis even got hurt, too. They had, Clayton Tune playing late. Freaking nuts. So betting odds for this game. Where are they at? Oh, right here. Packers only favored by 1.5. The over-under 45.5. Money line is minus 118 for the Packers, minus 102 for the Bears. Comparing the leaders. Jordan Love, 291 of 439, 23 tutties, 6 picks. And of course, one of those picks was against the Browns, of course. Of course, gotta remind him about that. 3,381 passing yards compared to Caleb Williams, who is, 58 passing yards from 4K? Wow, that's insane. So really, one deep ball, and he's got 4K passing yards this year. Wow, overall. 330 of 568, 27 tutties, 7 picks for Caleb. On the ground, DeAndre Swift versus Josh Jacobs. It's going to be a battle on the ground. 929 rushing yards for Jacobs on 234 carries with 13 tutties. DeAndre Swift got over 1,000 yards with 1,087 yards, 223 carries, 9 tutties. And then receiving, Romeo Doubs, 55 receptions, 724 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. Colston Loveland, the tight end, the rookie. I think he's a rookie, right? If not, he's like second year. Who cares? 58 receptions, 713 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns for the tight end. Leading sack getter, Micah Parsons, who's out for the year, 12.5 sacks. Montez Sweat for the Bears has 10. And then leading tackler, Quay Walker, 128 tackles for the Packers. And then, TJ Terrell, one of the Edmonds brothers, I don't know. Edmonds leads for the Bears with 112. Now, with that, I search everything up because, they make it difficult. Difficult. Of course they do. Of course they do. So I already went through everything here. The schedules already went through. The matchup itself is going to be a banger. Can't wait for that. Obviously, I'm very excited. I'm not going to be streaming this game. I'll be streaming, potentially, I might stream the Rams and Panthers game, but we'll see. Depends on how I'm feeling. It also depends on how those 2 playoff games go in the college ranks. Because, man, if that Miami Ole Miss game turns out to be a slugfest, might energy to do the playoff games, to be fair. That's funny. So, Packers, 64 all-time playoff games. So 37-27. 17 games in the wild card round, or 11-6. Last year, 2024, lost to the Eagles in the first round. That was tough. Now, as far as the Bears go, well, a whole lot. 37 games overall, 17-20. 6 wild card matchups, 2-4. They made it in 2020 where they lost to the Saints. So it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Yep. Of course, we all remember that game in 2018, right? The double doink. Oh, yeah, I probably just gave every Bears fan PTSD from that game. Oh, that's tough. Tough way to lose a game, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the football database and we'll go over this matchup. So they have faced, oh my God. Yeah, they have faced off. Holy crap. Can't even tell you how many times they faced off in the playoffs. Oh, twice. Of course. All this history, and they've only played twice in the playoffs. First, one of the first times, that notorious BJ Raji game. Yeah, BJ Raji. Another thing that gives Bears fans PTSD. 2011. Packers won 21-14. And I think that's it, right? NFC title game and the divisional playoff game. So that was the oh, here's the 1941. Holy shit. Damn. Yeah, that was before everybody was born. Man. Like that game was so long ago. I mean, oh my god. The game happened a week after freaking Pearl Harbor. That's crazy. Wow. All this history, and they've only played twice in the playoffs. Most recently, of course, was that BJ Raji game. One. Honestly, this could go either way. Something tells me the Bears are going to get it done. Something in my gut tells me the Bears are going to get it done. So I'm going to roll with the Bears to pull off this big dub to start off their trek in the playoffs. And Josh is going to throw a party. He's going to dunk on Packer fans. Because if there's one thing he loves to do, it's dunk on the cheeseheads. Dunk, cheese. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears on Saturday night. By the way, Packers again favored by 1.5. Over under 45.5. Give me Bears. Moving on to Sunday. Sunday. We got ourselves a rematch from a few years ago in the playoffs. We got the Jaguars facing the Bills. I remember back in 2017 when those two teams faced off. Tyrod Taylor versus Blake Bortles. I think it was. Yeah. That was a fun game, too. It might be one of the only times they faced off in the playoffs, too. Now, the Bills, they had a pretty good year. Actually, they had a really good year. Won the AFC East. Just like how the Jags won the AFC South. Pretty impressive year for both teams. The Bills, 12-5, started off hot, going, was it 6-2? Losing only to the Patriots and the Falcons. Then they would kind of go up and down, 2 in a row against the Panthers and Chiefs. Lose to the Dolphins, beat the Bucks, lose to the Texans, and then they would lose one game the rest of the way, only by 1 point to the Eagles because they wanted to go for 2 to win the game. Otherwise, they probably could have won their last 6 games. Yeah. And then the Jaguars, 13-4, started off 4-1, lost 2 in a row. Then they win, beat the Raiders by 1 point, lose to the Texans. And since that loss to the Texans, they would not lose another freaking game. She was kidding, but I'm not. They did not lose another game after that Texans game. Wow. Now, I mean, you look at the quality of the competition. Obviously, the best team they faced was Denver. Because by that time, I think Daniel Jones had gotten hurt. So the Colts had fallen off. Smoked the Chargers, too. My God. Think I'd want to face the Jaguars this year. They're actually a serious team, believe it or not. Very serious. And of course, we made that trade with them. So we have their first round pick, and of course they want to do this. Of course they do. Now the Jaguars, their playoff history is kind of spotty. They've had some success late 90s when they first came into the league. They had a nice little thing going. Early 2000s, they were really good. And then it's like they just vanished. Right? They just vanished to the basement of the AFC South. And they would emerge every once in a while. Most notably, 2017 made a run at the AFC title game. Damn near could have beat the Patriots. They really should have. But they couldn't pull it off. Tom Brady beat them, and the rest is history. right? The Eagles go out there and beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Historically, funny enough, the Bills and Jags are tied at 10 overall. Two postseason matches. Most recently, 2018. So the 2017-18 season, Tyrod Taylor against Blake Bortles. Jags won 10-3. Before that, the last time they faced off was their first ever meeting. December 28th, 1996. Jags won 30-27 in the AFC wildcard game. Historically, Jaguars, like I said, they've had better days, right? Jaguars playoff history, Buffalo Bills playoff history. The Bills, obviously, since they had Josh Allen, they have been in the playoffs every year. But what's up, Teddy? It says Ted. Ted. Hey, Ted. United. Never watched you leave either. What the hell? Okay. Interesting. Buffalo, 43 overall all-time playoff games. They're 21-22. So a win this week would put them at 500 all-time in the playoffs. This is their 44th all-time playoff game. They're 8-5 in the wild card round, 13 games. And then on the flip side, the Jaguars, yeah, like I said, they haven't been a frequent visitor to the playoffs. But when they make it, they usually go on a nice little run. They're 8-8 overall in the playoffs, 5-2 in the wild card round. The last time they made the playoffs was 2022. They beat the Chargers and then lost to the Chiefs. Obviously, like I said, the Bills, they've been in it damn near every year. In fact, they have been in it every year. 2019, 2020, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? But I think the Bills are going to be a very tough out. They're playing really well. Jags aren't to be scoffed at, though. Don't laugh at them. Don't overlook them because they'll get you. But I just trust Josh Allen way more. As long as the Bills don't play like they did against the Browns, where they let the freaking Jags hang around, they should be able to win this game. So I'm going to go with the Bills to win this game, and they're going to move out of the playoffs. So give me the Bills. Now, the matchup. Buffalo favored by 1.5, over under 52. Give me the Bills and give me the over. By the way, for the first two games, Carolina Rams, give me the Rams, give me the over. Packers and Bears, I'm going to go under, and I'm taking the Bears. So I'm going to go Bills and the over on this one. And that should be a fun game. Now, for game number 2 on Sunday, we got the Niners and the Eagles, two teams that have faced off a few times historically in the playoffs. Most notably, a few years ago, they faced off, I believe, in the NFC title game, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Niners fans, they're still pissed about that game. Eagles 49ers playoff history. Yeah, they're very frequent opponents in the playoffs. Yeah, they always be playing each other in the playoffs, especially with how good each team is now. 2 postseason games. They played more than that. Wow. But I guess this is just talking about, okay, wild card and championship game. Okay. I could swear they played way more than that. 1996, and then obviously 2023. So it's going to be a fun game. Eagles, obviously, you know, all of a sudden, they turned into a damn dynasty level team. I mean, look what they did to the Chiefs, man. They whooped their asses so damn bad. Their butt cracks, their butts probably still a chap from it. They put the belt on them. I ain't seen the Chiefs get belted like that in a while. And the Niners, well, they're just kind of, they're playing really well. But they're just not, they can't get in a rhythm, seemingly. They've had great games, though. And by the way, I did not go over the matchup between the two, Bills and Jags. I'll do that real quick. Josh Allen, 319 of 460, 25 tutties, 3,668 passing yards with 10 picks, 25 tutties. Trevor Lawrence officially eclipsed 4,000 yards, 341 of 560, 29 tutties, 12 picks. On the ground, James Cook, 309 carries, 1,621 yards, 12 touchdowns. Travis Etienne? Yeah. Etienne Jr., former Clemson Tiger, of course, 260 carries, 1,107 yards, 7 touchdowns. Through the air, Khalil Shakir, 719 receiving yards, 22 receptions, 4 touchdowns. Parker Washington, 58 receptions, 847 yards, 5 touchdowns. Leading sack getters, Greg Rousseau, 7 for the Bills. Josh Hines-Allen, 8 sacks for the Jags. Oluokun, 143 tackles, damn near doubling up Bishop for the Bills, who has 85. Yeah, that's nuts. Also, important to note, Ed Oliver, IR. Yeah, he won't be back for a while. Max Harrison's out. Ty Johnson could be back. Now, I want to make sure I put in my pick for Buffalo. I did. Perfect. So, San Francisco started off 4-1. Then they kind of turned mid for a few weeks. You know, they would go 4-1, lose to the Bucks, beat the Falcons, lose to the Texans, beat the Giants, lose to the Rams, and then they would not lose another game until the last game of the year against Seattle. Talk about one hell of a run. The Eagles, on the other hand, well, they've sputtered a few times. Started off hot, 4-0. Then they lose 2 in a row to the Broncos and the Giants. Win 4 in a row, beating the Vikings, Giants, Packers, Lions. Lose 3 in a row to the Cowboys, Bears, Chargers. And then they would win their next 3. Raiders, Commanders, Bills by 1. And then lose to the Commanders in the last game of the year. So very up and down. Very up and down. Comparing the two teams, obviously, leading passer for each team, Brock Purdy. Wow. 197 of 284 for 2,167 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 picks. Jalen Hurts, fantastic year. 294 of 454, 3,224 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Saquon Barkley versus Christian McCaffrey. Very even. McCaffrey, 311 carries, 10 touchdowns on 1,202 rushing yards. Yeah, 1,202 rushing yards. Saquon, 280 carries, 1,140 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. And then through the air, Christian McCaffrey damn near had 2,000 overall yards. He's just, couple yards? 76 yards away from 2,000 all-purpose. Damn near. 102 receptions, 7 touchdowns on 924 receiving yards for CMC. And then Devontae Smith got over 1,000 yards, 77 receptions, 1,008 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Leading sackers, Jalix Hunt for the Eagles with 6.5. Cleveland Ferrell, 4 sacks. Again, no Bosa. Out for the year. D. Winters. I think that is D. Winters, yeah. 101 tackles for the Niners. He's questionable. And Zach Bond, 123 tackles for the Eagles. Now, into this actual matchup here. The odds and such. Eagles favored by 4.5. Total 44.5. Minus 225 for the Eagles, plus 185 for the Niners. This game is going to be close. I could see it going to the final drive, as is usual, just to stress the hell out of freaking Rocha and company. All right? This is a tough game to pick, but it's like the Eagles have had these guys' number. I mean, not even just in the playoffs, like overall, they've had their number. You know, if you really think about it. But yeah, I'm going to actually go with the hometown Birds to win this game in a nail biter that comes down to the bitter freaking end. Because of course it would. This game would come down to the very bitter end too. So give me the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles, to win this game. And then we go to the nightcap. Right. Nightcap time on was it Sunday? Yeah. Sunday night. New England and the Chargers. All right, so it's obviously New England. I don't even need to talk about them. We know what they've done. Right? Chargers playoff history. And we go Patriots. In 2021, they lost to the Bills. The Chargers obviously made it last year, lost to the Texans. That's tough. Now, as far as how they've done individually, like team-wise, Chargers, really good year. Had a few blips, but really good year overall. 3-0 start. They lose 3 of 4. Rally to win 3 in a row, then they lose, and then they win 4, and then they lose 2. The Patriots, well, started off kind of rocky. They lose to the Raiders. Then they lose to the Steelers, so they start off 1-2, and then they would not lose again until the 4th to final game of the season, losing by 4 to the damn Bills at home. They would go on a tear that we haven't seen from them in ages. Kind of gives me flashbacks to when Tom Brady was there, what they would do. Like, damn, this team is playing different. It's crazy what happens when you have a competent coach. Now, comparing the two teams, Justin Herbert, really good year. 340 of 512 for 3,727 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Drake May, right? Damn near 5,000 yards passing, 354 of 492, 4,394 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks. On the ground, Travion Henderson, Pastor Trey, as we call him in Columbus, or Buckeye Nation, I guess you could call it. 180 carries, 911 yards, 9 touchdowns. And then Vidal for the Chargers, leading rusher, 155 carries, 643 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. He's more of a running back by committee, though, over there in LA. They run more of a committee. Kind of like what the Patriots kind of did with Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson. Ladd McConkey, 66 receptions, 789. Oh my God. Get it? 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Too bad he doesn't have 10 touchdowns. But yeah, 66 receptions, 789 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs. He's been in some hot water lately, though. 85 receptions, 1,013 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. Good year out of him. First year back off injury. Tui Pelotu, 13 sacks for the Chargers. Harold Landry III has 8.5. Leading tackler is Henley for the Chargers with 103. And Spillane, the former Steeler, has 97. Matchup wise, though, yeah, Patriots are favored by 3.5. Over under 46.5. Money line minus 192 for the Pats, plus 160 for the Chargers. This game is going to be fun. I think I'm going to stream this game on Sunday night. Not going to lie. This game has banger potential. And I love it. I'm going to enjoy streaming this game. But when it comes to who wins, man, I got to go with the slightly hotter team in the Patriots. Just like old times. Of course, they're going to go on a run. Give me the former Buckeye Mike Vrabel. Yep. Give me the Chargers to lose this game. Give me New England. New England to win. And then in terms of over-under, give me the over. Yep. Give me the over on that. So that's Sunday. And then Monday, got the Texans. Wow. Steelers and Texans. Okay, let's see if it pulls up here. Now, I believe they have faced off before. I think in the playoffs. I think. I could be wrong. Steelers, Texans. This, again, has potential. The Steelers literally made the playoffs solely because Tyler Loop missed a kick. This should have been the Ravens. But alas, it's not. And then the Ravens fired John Harbaugh. And we'll see where he ends up. Again, I mean, there's a possibility he ends up in Cleveland, but I just don't see it. Unfortunately, I just don't see it. So, Steelers and Texans. Let's take a look here. Steelers. Oh, I can't look at their... Wait, where's their playoff history at? What the heck did I do? Of course I did something stupid. Here we go. There we go. Okay. I figured it out. Okay. Now, of course, the Texans are without a doubt the youngest team in the NFL, coming in 2002. So as you'd imagine, their playoff history isn't as decorated as the Steelers. They have only played in 14 playoff games all time. They're 6-8, but they're 6-2 in the wild card round and 0-6 in the divisional round. They've never made it further. 2024 last year, they beat the Chargers and then lost to the Chiefs. Obviously, Pittsburgh, we all know the running gag with them, right? They barely slip into the playoffs, and then they get their butts beat in the wild card round, and they're sent home early. They have not won a playoff game since 2016 when they beat the Chiefs on their way to the conference title game where they lost to the Pats. Since then, they've lost in the wild card round every year that they've made it. 2017 and then 2020, 1, 3, and 4. Tough times for the Steelers, indeed. They're 65 games overall, 36-29, but they're 6-9 in the wild card round in 15 games. So, see what they can do against a solid Texans team. Head to head, never faced off in the playoffs. So this will be the first time ever. That'd be fun. Of course, we got to look at each team, how they did this year, right? So Pittsburgh, you know how they are. 10-7. Started 4-1, lost 2 in a row, then they win, then they lose, and they win, then they lose, and they lose, and then they win 3 in a row, then they lose, and then they win against the Ravens. Classic Steelers. Do just enough to maybe slip into the playoffs. And we'll see if they do anything with it. Texans, on the other hand, oh my God, they started off like hot butt cheeks. Yeesh. 0-3 start. Win 2 in a row. Lose, win, lose. And then they would not lose another game the rest of the year. Pretty damn impressive. 12-5 start or 12-5 season for the Texans. You know who I gotta go with. I gotta go with the freaking Texans. You can't trust the damn Steelers to win a freaking playoff game these days. Texans are favored by 3 on the road. Over under 39.5. Gotta go with the Texans. All right, so now with that, I can get rid of this stuff because I don't need it anymore. And comparing this game, obviously Aaron Rodgers versus CJ Stroud should be a fun one. Stroud's been playing a lot better, it seems like, from what I've seen. Stroud, 273, a 423, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks on 3,041 passing yards. Aaron Rodgers, solid year out of him. Actually, not even solid. Another GOAT type of season out of him. 327 of 498, 3,322 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, only 7 picks. Pretty good stuff. Woody Marks is the leading running back. Not sure if we're going to see Nick Chubb. 196 carries, 703 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. If anyone's wondering what happened to Joe Mixon, because he is a Texan technically, he did not play at all this year because of an injury he suffered, I believe, in the preseason. Something happened with his foot, I think it was, and he did not play a single snap. That's tough. Jaylen Warren, 211 carries, damn near 1,000 yards, 958 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. Nico Collins, 71 receptions on 1,117 receiving yards with 6 touchdowns. DK Metcalf will be back this week. 59 receptions, 850 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. Daniel Hunter, 15 sacks. Alex Highsmith, 9.5. And then leading tacklers, Azeez Al-Shaair, 103 tackles for the Texans. Peyton Wilson has 126. Again, Texans favored by 3. The over-under, 39.5. Money line for Houston, -170. For Pittsburgh is +140. Now, with that being said, again, I gotta go with the freaking Texans. They are scalding hot. I don't know if the Steelers are going to even be able to keep up with them with the way that they're playing. They made the Browns offense look good compared to theirs. Luckily for the Steelers, there's no sack records at stake here, so they should be fine. But I still got the Texans winning. In terms of the over-under, I could see it going over. Pretty close. All right, so that will do it for my wild card round picks. So, again, I'm probably going to go live for a couple of these games. I don't know about Saturday, but I will definitely be live for Chargers Patriots. Yeah, I'll be definitely live for that game. Chargers and Pats at Sunday night. And then Monday night, I'll probably go live for Texans and Steelers. So you might get triple streams out of me this weekend, or you might only get 2. Depends on how I'm feeling for that Carolina-LA game. Honestly, I might just sit back and watch that game and do the Sunday night game. So, because, I mean, after all, I would have done both college playoff games. I mean, that's damn near 5 straight days of streaming. I can't be doing that. I'm burn myself out. Gotta be mindful, right? So, I'm going to go out and say the Texans win. Another week is upon us. 1 week closer to the end of the season. Now playoffs. Should be fun, though. So with that being said, guys, shout out to Teddy, Rays, and Rudy for popping in. Shout out, as always, to Stephen Rose and Max Sports for putting on the tournaments every year. Again, I'm probably going to decide before next year if I'm going to do it again. We'll see, though. But with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Just under an hour. So this is how it's going to be every week now until the Super Bowl. And then when I get to the Super Bowl, I'll really dig in deep. I'll be comparing the rosters. That'll be fun. But with that being said, guys, I am Crazy Dog. And I'll see you all later. I'm out. Bye-bye. Yeah. So yeah, just a quick refresher, of course. Give me the Rams and the over. The Bears and the under on Saturday. Sunday, Bills, and I'm going to say the slight under. Yeah, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to say slight under. Give me the Eagles and the over. And give me the Pats and the slight under again. And then, of course, Monday night, I'm going to roll with the Texans and I'm going to go over. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up. I'm Crazy Dog. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Yeah.